Hey everybody, Q here. I was doing a bit of looking up on the internet today about the NBA race to MVP, because it's coming to that time where MVP is about to be picked, sort of thing. And I thought it'd be interesting to just look at the top 5 players and what makes them unique. So up there at the moment, leading the race is Russel Westbook. We've got James Harden, we've got Kawhi Leonard, LeBron James and Isaiah Thomas. So 5 completely different players. So I thought I'd do a quick run through a little bit about each of them, no more than 2 minutes on each. If you want a more in-depth analysis of it, just go to Google, type in NBA race to MVP, and the top one that will pop up will be like, was it Kia Rio race to MVP? And it's got all the different players. Phone call decline. And they've all got like a 10-minute analysis that goes through their entire season, so have a look at that. Anyway, first off, Russel Westbrook. One of the major things that he did this season was he got 42 triple doubles, which breaks the record for the most of all time. And I think it's a great achievement, but I also want to be able to look at the criticism side of it, or like how was he able to actually do that? And when I look at the Thunder, he has the ball in his hands 95% of the time, bringing the ball down the court. And if it's the 5% of the time that he doesn't have the ball in his hand, bringing the ball down the court, it's because he's he's having a sub for like the 2 minutes he has a break per game. The other thing I look at is, sometimes he gets stats, I think, like, where let's say 4 of his teammates box out and he's the one that chases down the ball. So kudos to him for actually chasing down the ball, jumping after it and getting after it, which is great. To me, it's, stat collector. There's more to the game than that, which is where we go to our second MVP candidate, being James Harden. And, Houston Rockets have one of the best team offenses in the NBA at the moment, and it's really been led by him. Between Thunder and Rockets, the Rockets have had more wins. I recently posted a video on the Houston Rockets offense which looked at the pick and roll. So if you want a bit more in-depth of how the Rockets are doing so well with that, have a look at that video. I think one of the things that sets James Harden aside from Russel Westbrook is that he's more willing to put the ball in his teammates' hands and let his teammates have more utilization of the ball. So even though James Harden doesn't have as many triple doubles as Westbrook, I think he's starting to bridge towards that team element. Third candidate, Kawhi Leonard. I think he works sort of towards that as well. San Antonio Spurs are one of the greatest franchises in history, simply through their teamwork. And Kawhi Leonard is literally like the child growing of like that franchise, which is really cool to watch. When they look at their offense, they say, well, we could give the ball to Kawhi, but we could also give it to these other players, and they really look to exploit matchups. Sometimes when Kawhi doesn't get the ball, that's actually what makes his team better. So, and that's not something that's actually, you actually write a statistic on. So, that comes into account. The other thing that comes into account with Kawhi Leonard, two-way all-star. He's awesome on offense, but out of the top 5 MVP candidates, Kawhi Leonard is the standout defender. He can really defend anyone from 1 to 4 quite comfortably. He could probably even guard centers, and the way that Spurs team strategies work, he's capable of doing that. He's grown a lot too as a player. Fourth candidate, LeBron James, King James. He had 4 MVPs in the past, and I believe that this season has actually improved his rebounding, has improved his assist ratio. He shoots over 50% from the field, which I think is highly important a highly important stat for an MVP is their field goal percentage. I mean, yeah, they might get 40 points a game, but if they're shooting 40%, then that's not that great. Whereas if they're getting 30 points a game, they're shooting 60% on the flip side. To me, that's more valuable than the other side of it. So, LeBron, I think he's another player where he just makes his team so much better in terms of spacing. Just him being on the floor creates such a threat. And I think his passing ability is just phenomenal. He knows how to draw double teams. He knows where the open player is going to be. And when he throws a pass, he doesn't just pass it to the player so they can catch it. He'll pass it to the player so when they catch it, they're in their footsteps, in their 1-2 to just catch, go up and shoot. And in that way, like the way that he assists his team, I mean, not all the time, not perfect, but he's got a lot of highlights where when he passes the ball, when he assists his team, he actually raises his teammates' field goal percentage through his ability to pass the ball. So I think that's something to look at when looking at MVP candidates. He's so big and strong, like power through to the ring. Like, I don't think anyone is a better finisher when it comes to driving in the NBA than LeBron James. Now, fifth candidate, Isaiah Thomas. I think he came out of nowhere. I don't think anyone expected Isaiah to really be as good as what he is today. And one of the reasons of that is because he's so damn short. He's the shortest guy in the top 5 MVP candidates. And that's where I think he deserves a special credit mention, or most valuable player. But I guess where I'm thinking in terms here is like player ability. He's made it to the top 5, and I haven't seen a huge amount of Isaiah. I know he's really handy with the ball, and I know he's really good at exploiting angles on the court, and passing ability. He's got good awareness, sort of thing. But the fact that he's that short and he's able to do it, I just try and imagine if Isaiah was actually 6.5 feet tall, or is like 7 foot tall. Like if he was as tall as Kevin Durant, Kevin Durant's kind of like, not quite, but I think if you listen to this part, up to this part, then you probably understand the type of thought string that I'm working with there. So anyway, guys, that's the top 5 MVP candidates. Let me know what you think. If you're following the top 5, if you've got predictions of who you think will get it, why they'll get it, and etc. Please post your feedback. Past that, keep working. My sweat mark's dried. I'm on the way to basketball at the moment, and I'm power walking. So I'm actually breaking the sweat as I go. So, guys, whatever you do it to your maximum ability, and I'll see you soon. Coach Q out.